Everything. Well, thank you very much and good morning to everybody. Those of you who listen to the health tip every morning, thank you. The danger in drinking alcohol excessively. If you have to drink, if you are forced to drink, drink in moderation. Let it be an occasional treat. It should not be a daily thing, morning, afternoon, night. Because, number one, chronic alcohol use can cause liver damage. You know, your liver is one of the 5 organs that are vital for survival. It performs over 500 different jobs. If you let it be damaged, you are finished. Number 2, excessive drinking also leads to heart problem. You know your heart. I don't want to talk about that today. You know what I've been telling you about your heart. Protect your heart. It can also cause high blood pressure. It causes irregular heartbeat. And it also causes cardiomyopathy. That simply means it can weaken your heart muscles. So you see what liquor can do? Leave it. So if you can drink liquor, just leave it for now. Leave it for good. Number 3, alcohol consumption leads to mouth cancer, throat cancer, esophagus cancer, and breast cancer. And we're talking about breast cancer here. Men too can have breast cancer, not only women. So leave alcohol. Number 4, it weakens the immune system. That means it reduces your body's ability to fight infections. You know, you can sometimes have infection. Now, if you keep drinking, it will weaken the fight against infection in your body. Number 5, alcohol can cause brain damage. If you don't know that, I'm telling you today, it can kill or damage the brain cells. So please, don't drink. Some studies have shown that even moderate drinking can cause chronic heart problem over time. So those of you saying the Bible says my girl drinks for, I don't know how to call it, can't have a taste, well, good. Drink in moderation. But when you drink small, over time, for a long time, it will cause a serious problem for you. So just leave it. Remember this. Remember this. Men, women, I'm talking to you too now. Men and women, do your STD or gonorrhea test today to know your status. Test is necessary because gonorrhea is asymptomatic at the early stage. Asymptomatic simply means you will not see the sign. You will not see anything happening, but it's in there. So you will not know that you have it unless you do the test. If not detected early and treated, it could damage your reproductive organ. As a man, if your reproductive organ is destroyed, you will not be able to impregnate a woman. So those of you can sometimes be believe your wife. We've been married for 1 whole year now. You can't get pregnant. Go to first. So gonorrhea can stop you from impregnating a woman, where it destroys the organ. If you're a woman, go and check yourself too. Because if your reproductive organ is damaged, you can't conceive. You will not get pregnant. So this is very serious. So being informed is far better than facing the consequences of your ignorance. Thank you very much for the time. I gotta go. I gotta get out of here. But before then, I'm on my way to ELBC now.
Oh.
Those of you who have eye problems.
Yeah, your first stop is True for ELBC. ELBC is 10 o'clock with you. You're sure it's 10 o'clock, right?
It's 10:30, yeah.
10:30, man. It's 8 o'clock, man. I thought your first stop was True FM.
Yeah, my first stop is True FM. And from here, then I go to ELBC. All I'm saying to the public is that Dr. Naraji Perry, the head eye doctor at the GSK.
With be a guest. Nice promo.
Yeah,
Is it Dr. Wu?
Dr. Naraji Perry. He's the chief eye doctor or ophthalmologist.
It's a guest.
Maraji Perry?
Marajan is David's guest this morning at 10:30 on State Radio.
All you eye people, even if you don't feel you have eye problem, please listen today.
All right.
You gotta listen.
Yeah, I gotta listen. You gotta go.
God willing, I will be here on Monday at 8 o'clock.
God bless you.
In the meantime, I gotta get out of here.
And remember, you are dealing with people from Nimba. Come on.
Oh,
there is strong, man.
Oh, yeah.
All right. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
All right. Great, you got it. Yes, Derek Cote with our help is a regular feature. Let's find out what's making news from the print media. Welcome to the review of the local dailies. I told you on Mondays, Wednesday, and Friday, almost all of the papers have to come up on the newsstand. But we'll manage with time this morning. Our first up is the Independent. Yes, out on the 3 years of critical, investigative, and fair journalism. The Independent, the front page of the Independent Supreme Court years co-files bill of information as Coon orders file official return. Well, for 19 Joseph Falancon, he said Joseph Falancon, brave man, in crew. Financial Kofa is captured here on the front page or from the Independent. Well, hi there. Sienna Yon is also on the front page. You can grab a copy. Industrial shrimp fishing begins soon as criminal fishers worry. Well, it's a sub story here. Let's go to the back page. What's on the back page? The back page are from the Independent. Ellen stresses use of homegrown capabilities for Liberia's development. Former President Ellen Johnson tells us here on the back page, UL to offer certificate in hospitality management. It's a sub story. Dr. Myean this year on the back page. Amidst Trump's in court, Liberian lawmaker shares 500,000 with local businesses. Wow, for empowerment. Who's here? This is the best friend of Marka Davis for the formula.
For the number best friend.
Oh,
yeah.
Oh, you business person here?
For the number best.
Okay, you're from a friend. What is right here on the back page or from the Independent? Yes, ending the review for my end from the Independent.
Okay, so let's go for the Daily Observer. The Daily Observer, the lead story on the front page: budget misconceptions must end. Who is speaking? Finance Minister Augustine Gaffon fires back at critics. Well, the Finance Minister is captured here on the front page of the Daily Observer. Mother of Light Rehabilitation Center launches vocational school, offering hope and skills for recovery in Liberia. Africa Beyond Aid, whose photograph is here. This is Raptel Ninja Pele, the orator,
Yes,
last
yes,
year's
yes.
Independence Day.
Yes,
it's captured right here. I don't know what she mean by this, but if you grab the copy of the paper, you read the detail is on page 4 of the Daily Observer newspaper. Africa Beyond Aid. Maybe it's a long writing, an article there you can read. Supreme Court hot towards US 6.1 million corruption case is another sub-lead story. Let's go to the back page. Liberian surgical care sees dramatic growth, say visiting US surgeons. Okay, Liberian surgical care sees dramatic growth, say visiting US surgeons is another story on the back page. The final story: police probe cotton smuggling syndicate in Maryland. Cotton. Why is cotton? Well, grab the copy of this paper for $40 to read the details.
Great. Let's move on to the Inquirer. Yes, the Inquirer newspaper, volume 34, double 36, Friday, March 7, the front page story of the Inquirer newspaper. Enfield leadership crisis deepens as Bull recommends DG Torgbean suspension without pay. Well, Torgbean is captured on the front page of the Inquirer. Grab a copy and see what is happening at Enfield. Buckeye issues executive orders number 145 on assets recovery. It's a sub-lead story here. Joseph Buckeye is captured here. Councillor Alexandra Zoe advocates for anti-corruption for court establishment. Well, the head of the LACC is here. Let's go to the back page. What's on the back page? The back page of the Inquirer. Police tighten security at UMC compound in Nimba. What is happening? You can grab a copy. LERC uphold tariff reduction for Nimba and Bong. Well, ending the review from the Inquirer newspaper this morning. Yes, what's happening? Okay. Oh.
Yes, let's go.
Be well on you, man. Don't be yeah, man.
Yeah, let's go for the New Republic. The New Republic. The lead story on the front page: Coons thrown on fire. Coons thrown on fire. Well, the majority speaker, Richard Coon, is captured here in a very big photograph on the front page of the New Republic newspaper. It says, as the Supreme Court of Liberia appears to be getting ready to stamp its constitutional authority on House of Representatives leadership crisis, the nation is watching with keen and eagle eyes. And as March 14 looms, many are wondering if Coons thrown on fire. This is Alfonso Tues, New Republic newspaper. Ministry of Gender Partners commemorates International Women's Day today. I'm seeing Minister Wemi Harris' colleague capture right here on the front page of the New Republic. Let's go to the back page. Government step up anti-corruption fight amid security concerns. Deputy Information Minister Daniel Sando is captured here on the back page of the New Republic newspaper. MOT trains thousands of motorcyclists on road safety in Nimba, Bong, and Margibi counties. Well, this is a good initiative. New classrooms construction underway in Bu Yao, who is doing that as friends of WOA's lead groundbreaking ceremony. Finally, on the back page of the New Republic, LERC upholds tariff reduction for Nimba and Bong County is the final story on the back page of the New Republic.
Yes, time is fast spent, so this is my last time. The librarian investigator. The librarian investigator. Lana Doda, good morning to you. The front page of the investigator tackling US 1 billion domestic debts. Well, Finance Minister Augustin Gaffon has revealed, well, he's captured here on the front page or from the investigator. Grab a copy. The paper is sold for just $40 Liberian dollars. Alleged corruption trial hill. Supreme Court places still order on 12 others corruption case. It's a subject story at Samatue. And this one picture you always you see 12 with Elijah Sauer and William Smith, always together almost every time. Well, it's on the front page of the investigator taking the bull by the horn. U.S. President vows to tackle systematic indiscipline on various campuses. Dr. Mampines, yeah. And lastly, on the front page of the investigator, leadership crisis at Enfield as board recommends suspension of Dubai Chris. Well, it's on the front page or from the investigator ending from my end.
Yes, let's go now for the Women Voices newspaper. You know, obviously, we're not leave the Women Voices out as we are celebrating women around the world. And the lead story on the front page, She Rose for a Reason, celebrating resilient Liberian women on International Women's Day 2025. Several permanent Liberian women capture on the front page of the Women Voices newspaper. I'm seeing former President Ellen Johnson Sirleaf, the current First Lady of the Republic, Katumu Boakai, Foreign Minister Sarah Besloyanti, former Cultural Ambassador Judy Andy, many of them. I'm seeing Moema Briggs Mensa, the Gender Minister Webin Colley Harris is right here. Many of them capture here. Yes, the Second Lady, Senator Stephen Dankun is also captured here. I'm seeing our uh okay the next person here is the former chief of protocol to former president Weah Findabondo and a lot of people. Magdala Cooper, the political advisor to the president, and Nimba County superintendent called me up. Sorry, I can recognize everyone's face.
Okay.
You know, on this photograph, but at least we recognize a couple of them. Again, the sub-lead story: Liberia hosts conference on the status of women with disabilities. Liberia hosts conference on the status of women with disabilities as Second Lady calls for action and inclusivity. Well, this is a major story also on the front page of the Women Voices newspaper. Thanks to Helen Nasami for this work she's doing in the country.
Great. Ellen Nad, Winnie Sewa, Jimmy, all the females found herself in the newsroom. Thanks so much. The papers are on the newsstand for 4050. You can buy it in and read the rest of the story. This is the Friday edition of the Truth Breakfast Show. And we're proud to be associated with from Orange, Liberia, and of course the Pan African Bank, Echo Bank. Let's get going as we anticipate our guests at 8:30 this morning.
Mark is already on a compound.
Okay, great. The Painesville City Mayor, good morning to you, Robert Bestman. I mean, 10 ascending to the office. We have one interview with Robert Bestman, and it's been forever so long where he's doing work. But some student body in Painesville have reached out to us and believe that what is happening is a very sad thing. They have made all effort. Now, every time now, it be violence now. Take it by force. The students believe that Robert Bestman have interest with them, with the quizzing tournament. We don't have no programs in Liberia. One of the major programs we do have is quizzing. How many parents follow what we call quizzing? All the schools in Painesville, they have a very serious interest. For almost 1 month, you won't believe that I've been making efforts to see the Painesville City Mayor, Robert Bestman. And The students believe that Emmanuel Kemo have blocked all effort, the COS. It's a very sad thing. Best man, your chief of office staff have blocked the students. We don't have programs in Liberia. What will it take if you take one meeting scheduled for the Painesville City Mayor to see the students? They have the question tournament coming up. How many programs do we have for the young people? You push the students too much, man. I'm just going to do this 1 or 2 minutes. Maybe Marka will add up. It's a very sad thing to see the chief of office staff. More than 10, 15 times you have students sitting at the Painesville City Hall just want to see the city mayor. Best man, if you're hearing it, that's why the chief of office started doing. They say in forever meeting, you are booked for the whole year. Yeah, I want to say, our best man booked for the whole year. Can you imagine this? Yeah.
Yes, again, well, I will not have my hands, I don't have my hands on the details, but again, we say these things to people. The offices you occupy are public offices. Imagine and understand. I'm not speaking to the mayor directly, I'm talking to the chief of office staff that Uni is referring to. Understand that Mayor Bestman is the mayor for the most populated,
Yes,
and even the largest city in Liberia,
of
in the
course.
Republic of Liberia, and the Masorado,
Of course.
in the Republic of Liberia.
Painesville.
Painesville is the most populated city in the Republic of Liberia. Now the mayor of that city and one chief of staff
Emmanuel Kemo
will be hiding the mayor
yeah,
from the people of the city.
the people.
Amen. I know. I don't think that is an instruction from the mayor. I don't want to believe it.
Yeah.
I don't want to believe it. And Mayor Bestman, if that is your instruction, then I think you need to reconsider. You need to reconsider, and I need to also make the chief of office staff understand that he only has an opportunity to serve the role he's serving because President Boakai gave you, Robert Bestman, the opportunity to serve the people of Painesville.
Correct.
And the chief of office staff should understand that his role, he has a specific role to play between the people of the city of Painesville and the office of the mayor. All you need to do, look, let me tell you one thing, your salary is different, the mayor's salary is different, your role is different, the mayor's role is different. So you do not have to interfere with what the mayor is supposed to do with the people of the city. All you have to do is inform the, if it is a communication coming from any sector of the city, make sure the mayor receive it. If it's a verbal message, make sure the mayor gets it. Do not serve as barrier between the office of the mayor and the people of Painesville City. If you do that, you will not be doing well for the mayor, and consequently, you will not be doing good for yourself.
Of course.
Because the people of Painesville start to cry, especially the young people, the students. If they start to cry on the name of the mayor, the president will say, "Oh, the mayor has said to take care of my people. What is happening?"
The mayor is booked for the whole year. That's why Kimo is telling the students.
Yeah, best man, please
1 month.
Please meet with the women of Painesville when they want to meet you. Make yourself available. The young people of Painesville. Imagine Liberia's population is more than 60% young people, right? Meet the young people when they want to meet you. Meet the elders when they want to meet you. Y'all follow the example. It's not I'm blowing my own horn. Leaders in this country, y'all please start to learn now from Myean Governor of Nima County, the superintendent. I will say that for a fact.
So if I would rather listen up to the radio this morning, immediately I will look for the student here and place a call and apologize.
Yes.
1 month, the people can see that mayor, the chief of office staff say book for the whole year. When they even became chief of office staff?
Every day the mayor busy.
The mayor busy.
The mayor in meeting. The mayor going Monrovia. The mayor, stop that, man. Stop that.
Let's move on. Y'all reach out to Mayor Bestman.
Stop building fence between the young people and the mayor's office.
The mayor, mayor, I think the mayor, you haven't called the title, the mayor.
Yeah. and honorable mayor, we are only referring to the chief of office staff. The chief of office staff, right?
The chief of office staff.
Yes, because that's a complaint we got. But if we receive a complaint that you yourself say you don't want to see these people, then we're going to direct our comments to you straight this morning.
Yeah.
Yes. So just take this as,
the mayor meet a student, but they apologize to them because you're one of students too. before, right?
Mhm.
Let's move on. Something ugly happened yesterday. I mean, tend to call Robert. Good morning, His Excellency President Boyka. You know, people use the president name for
I
so
really
many
didn't follow
ugly
that thing
things.
yesterday.
Yes, I was in the traffic and I saw it for myself. Robert Wilson, you know Robert Wilson from the Unity Party.
Okay.
Y'all listen up, bro. Robert Wilson did
But
something.
why put the Unity Party there?
Yeah, that's where he came from. Everybody know Robert Wilson. Robert Wilson from the Unity Party. Robert
Okay.
Wilson did something that never happened since 1847. Robert Wilson stood in the traffic. He's not a police officer. Looking for government vehicle. Y'all listen up, bro. People misuse the president name to carry on. And now the person who was affected, one of them, I'm going to call them on the air.
Okay.
False direct. Even Dr. Emmanuel Yakpa with this angle what Robert Wilson did yesterday. The man is on the main road of Vamuman looking for government vehicles. Can you imagine? He stopped this government vehicle from the EPA. Robert Wilson, you tell Robert, we are talking this morning. I want to use this car. The president have a guest in the country, so the car won't use. Look at that kind of thing.
Really?
I swear to God, if I look, I'm going to bring on Dwayne Bolle. Dwayne is assistant executive director at the EPA. Look.
Oh yes, I know.
Yes, Dwayne got embarrassed. Robert Wilson insisted that Dwayne should get down from the vehicle. They want to use that identical car because the president have a guest in the country. Dwayne got down. And police officer just there watching and say yes. So Dwayne asked him, said, on which instruction? I mean, I work with the EP, I'm executive director. He said, no, the president got important guests in the country, so we need a vehicle. Saying it's falling on GSA. Robert Wilson, things that never happened since 1847. Don't you know there's a procedure you want to take for an assigned vehicle from someone? He took the vehicle, and the man was embarrassed.
Wow.
Got down, started to look for a commercial car. You mean with the rightful person?
Wow. I mean, I didn't really follow.
I'm going to bring on Dwayne on the show by phone. Let's bring Dwayne over.
Yes, no problem.
He got embarrassed to the extent that the police officer said couldn't say anything. Remember,
the president
had guests in the country.
So
that the government vehicle is looking for any government vehicle that is fast driving on the road, stop them, want to use the vehicle. Hey man.
Really?
Along with 3 other persons. Those of you who want to see, you saw it, what Robert Wilson did.
Wow.
It's a sad thing. So I mean, let's do this for this guy. Let's bring on, it could be any of other government official. I want to bring on Dwayne.
But that is very embarrassing.
Embarrassing. Let's bring on Dwayne, please. You're listening up. I mean, people use the president name for so many things. Let's bring on Dwayne Bolle. So when Dwayne called his boss, and he worked at GSA around with him, when he went to asset recovery at GSA.
And only remember that that vehicle that was the controversial vehicle from the former commerce minister.
Yes.
They said that vehicle is going to be used, when guests are in the country.
Yes. You see that?
So where that vehicle is before you stop.
But the way you took the let's bring on Dwayne. Good morning to you live on the TBS. Good morning, Dwayne.
Good morning, my dear brother. How are you?
Okay. So for the benefit of the listening audience, please introduce yourself officially.
My name is Dwayne Bolle. I'm the Deputy Executive Director of the EPA, Environmental Protection Agency of Liberia.
Great. You care to explain what happened yesterday? Maybe I was saying it. You got affected. Tell us.
Yesterday, thank you for your inquiry. Yesterday, while en route to work at Amoma Junction, I was approached by some employees from GSA, and one of them who I remember and interacted with and who was the head of the group is Robert Wilson. He told me that they had to take the car because the vehicle that I was using, they have to take it because the Director General of GSA have mandated that the president was having some guests in town and they needed some vehicles. So I asked him, I said, you going to take this without prior notice? I'm on my way to work. He said, yes. So I got down from the vehicle. They took the vehicle, put it on the tow truck, and took it somewhere. I don't know where, but it was humiliating and disrespectful, and it was very unprofessional. And I, I'm happy that you want to talk about this morning for people to know about it because that level of unprofessionalism has to be checked. And so, I mean, they appear like gangsters to me, you know. So this is why, it's important for us to share this information to some of our people who don't know about what's going on.
So if this is, sorry, if this is maybe it's something that normally happens sometimes, if the government needs some other vehicles, there are some challenges, they normally do that. If it is, if they do that, then what are the processes in doing that if it happens?
You know, that's a very good question. I would think that at least prior notice, 24 hours to inform the requisite institution to say, look, you have this vehicle, we need it in 24 hours because of blah, blah, blah.
And that's how it should be. That's how it should be. That's how professional operates.
Exactly. But just to stop you in the street, tell the driver to pull over, and then ask you down because you are implementing orders from the Director General of GSA, it's very unprofessional.
So, Mr. Bollard, I mean, time is fast spent. This have happened to you. It could be happening to any other government official. I mean, yes. I mean, some of you listening up to the radio, it could be a very self Robert Wilson unprofessionally behave like this. What is your boss saying? I mean, you fall directly under Dr. Yuri Yakpawolo. What is your boss saying to this?
I told him, and he was shocked. He was shocked out of this world. I told him that. And listen, I am beginning a sustained campaign on this to make sure that the GSA come up with a standard operating procedure, a rule of engagement on this that will be published, established procedures that will be published and sent out to all government agencies so that in the future we can avoid the reoccurrence of this unprofessional behavior.
Well, who even does that anyway?
Yeah. Thank you,
it
man.
is something,
Thank you.
but we want to.
Sorry.
I don't know. Somebody will say, Marka, you're not supposed to be doing that, but I'm going to do this on behalf of the General Services Agency. We want to apologize to you.
Oh, you got it,
yes, we want to apologize to you. So we are also demanding that they openly apologize to you for harassing you and humiliating you in the street as they did to you yesterday.
Thank you very much. I appreciate that. And this will not stop until they do that. And not only the apologies, if I may respectfully suggest that we need established procedures that should be sent out to all government ministries, people who are using government vehicles, that, hey, look, within 24 hours, we can call for our vehicle because of XYZ reason. So people will know that instead of stopping people in the street, telling you to disembark from the vehicle and they take it.
Thank you, man. Sorry for the situation. Yes, yes. Let's pick few calls up. Thank you. Raul Wilson. Okay. Yeah. All kind of thing you help you.
Is this the very big?
Yeah, the fat guy, Raul Wilson. So I placed a call to another government official. The guy said, if Raul going to try that to him, you're going to slap the hell out of Robert. You mean that was stubborn person. That's why he did to do it. So stubborn men with no prior notice who are working in the interest of the government.
For me, I would just
instruct
my driver would just drive past you because I'm not going to.
You're not police officer. You're jumping from the cars.
You can't do that. You park the car. I'm on my way to work as deputy for a government institution, and you tell me, Marka, get down. My boss, the GSA boss, says that we want to use a vehicle today, so please get down.
Mm-hmm.
They are disembarked.
They are music man, no government.
At this embarked.
Don't you know the Ministry of Foreign Affairs have vehicle for protocols?
They are standing on the road now, looking for motorbike to go to work.
Yeah, after dressing.
Yeah, because I'm not even say commercial car or motorbike
Yeah.
to go to work. As deputy
executive director.
yeah, man. No, man.
Robert Wilson, you don't know government. I swear, you don't know government. Don't you know the Ministry of Foreign Affairs have vehicles for guests? You don't know it? And this will occur. Nothing is done. He's going to do it to another person.
So again, let me just in 30 seconds. Even we don't take over, George.
Yeah.
In 30 seconds, Galapa Kotiman, the Director General of the USA, you listen to Mr. Bole, and that your deputy said he was acting on your instruction.
Yeah.
I think the recommendation from the victim, I'll call him victim because what happened was humiliating and embarrassing. The recommendation from the victim should be taken very seriously, and you should act on that in a couple of days. You should develop a procedure as to how you go about if you want to use any government property that is in use by any official, how you go about requesting it. You can't do that what you did.
They see Round Wilson man,
Round
Wilson man started the answer recovery when it took this gracious rap. We all could worry nothing. He just started arresting. They see Round Wilson.
He didn't want to delay the asset recovery tax.
That's it there.
For 9 months, even if people have concealed assets they stole, how can you find it again?
Nothing. No, you said out Cloud Martin, so you just jump in the street. Let's move on, man. Sorry, folks, we're gonna bring some calls up, but
yes.
When I got it, when I saw the situation, I said, damn it, that Round Wilson here
again
after doing this, the gracious rap with no notice, you back in the traffic. Got a man here though. Yes, so I don't know. Evelyn is out there, but let's pick a few calls up. Yes, at least for 2-3 minutes, they'll bring it on. 0770-153-265. This is the Breakfast Show. Good morning. Morning. We don't have much time, man. Sorry, the feedback. We won't get you going for long. Morning.
David so.
Morning.
Good morning, Coach David Cote.
Morning.
Thank you. I want to appeal to you not to just stop here on the radio. Please contact Galapagos Coach and find out whether this is true. Because I haven't ever heard about this kind of embarrassing situation before. Never. To put a government official down in the street to walk or take taxi because you say government needs a car? No, I don't think it's true. I want to advise that you please investigate this. You can even take a ride to Galapagos Coachman's office today and just find out what
the vehicle is parked at the GS already. So I mean, yeah, so government have to apologize. David, you're right, but because of time, but you're right. Yeah, but I mean, the vehicle is there.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Just go ahead quickly. We don't have time.
You shall call you from tomorrow this morning. Look, Marka, on you this morning, I'm seriously disappointed. What? To put a deputy of a common official in the street? I didn't know that one was very wrong. It's so funny. The president on you.
Now, you do. Oh, stop it, brother. No, you can't say that.
Yeah. Let's pick two more calls. For the extent that Dwell Body will come on the air, they'll say maybe O'Neal make up a story. But it's true. Government should to apologize on behalf of GSA. It's a sad thing. You don't know it's a procedure. If the president have guests, Ministry of Foreign Affairs have a protocol unit there that have vehicles that are assigned. You don't know government. Let's get one more call up and see if we can and bring on Evelyn Padet and that of Mark. I'm first time getting through with Mark 101.
Mark Mengonfia.
Yes. Yeah. Morning.
Good morning, O'Neal.
Morning.
Let me say good morning to my brother Marka Davis and to the listening public. My name is Moses Tuasoya. I'm calling you from Tuporo. My sympathy to the official that was it was an emergency, right, Chief? We need this car. Can we drive you where you're going and then get it long? But you can't tell them this impact the vehicle in the public. Yeah, I don't know how to describe it. O'Neal, I want to speak quickly to LWSC, people of Mo Ali.
Quickly.
Usually, I posted one video from Myean Joba when the water pipe burst and the water was just wasting. The other day again, having to Tupo Royal Family community. So I don't know, the people in the field, they have people who are accessing places. I don't know what normal. You cannot be If I want, I go last into the water pool and get a drink there, waiting yet.
Okay, thank you. Yes, this complimentary caller, this last caller, Akwe Bue.
Thank you for your previous recognition. Let me say a pleasant good morning to Marka Davis and Labian following the show. And also a pleasant good morning to the People's Lawmaker on a Musa accountability. For you, let me say a very big thank you this morning for making this issue of the embarrassment that was faced by this official of government. But quickly on you, my attention has been drawn to this issue of ECOWAS and what is happening at the legislature. Look, I want to say this to Representative Queen. I mean, I think the supported speaker is being obsessed with power. And if ECOWAS is giving their position on this issue, or reinstating those that you took from the position they were in at the level of the ECOWAS, I think the representative or the performance speaker needs to give a little ear to ECOWAS.
Okay, Akwe, so let me hold you there. Let me hold you there as part of journalism. Via my app, my phone tells me that this man has never called me before, but my app tells me that Robert Wilson is calling. Right? So let's put Robert Wilson on. And yes, Robert, good morning. Yes, you don't have to, you live on the breakfast show. Good morning, Robert Wilson.
Hey, Only Roberts. How are you?
I'm fine. Go ahead.
Okay, let me I was on my way to work while doing my duties as the Deputy Director General of Operations. I received a lot of calls that you had the EPSG EDA on the line. So let me explain the function of GSA first in terms of vehicles. Those vehicles, when they are brought to GSA for coding, plating, and you bring spare key and bring the original documents. We, GSA, assign a car to, for example, if only I was Minister of Commerce. We, GSA, assign that car to you. The car is not for you. And the difference between your private car and the government car. Now, the President of Liberia, His Excellency Ambassador Joseph Marka, is expecting today the former President of Tanzania will receive the communication day before yesterday in the evening. Currently, GSA does not, I repeat, does not have guest car. The only car we have currently is the car that was turned over Ministry of Commerce that the former minister had a problem with and was turned over to GSA. So, regularly, if we don't have car, GSA commandeer cars. Now, you're talking about the right people in the right back. Based on our history, if we have time, we can write all the military agencies. 99% of them will refuse to give those cards.
Is it a rightful procedure because of time? Is it a rightful procedure, or there are prior notice, or you just go in the traffic?
Listen, y'all have ample time to talk with them, man. Give me time. Let me react to what he said.
Is it a rightful procedure? We'll see. Is it a rightful procedure? There's a prior notice you gave out.
Is that we are the owner of the car. The man who work at EP.
So you go in the street and just take car for anybody since you're the owner of the car.
We assign our car to him, and because of emergency, we will not take national embarrassment over personal.
You said you received the communication about the former president coming to the country 2 days, about 3 days or 2 days before you confiscated the car.
I said the man is coming today. We received a letter day before yesterday in which we wanted a car yesterday.
So that even with that, you received that information more than 12 hours before you confiscated the car.
It doesn't justify.
He's not the owner of the car. The car.
Robert, this is not a rightful procedure.
This is not, I think the GSA owe the EPA deputy an apology.
Yeah.
Which apology?
For embarrassing him.
That's embarrassment.
Also, we should embarrass the president like right.
Do you know the Ministry of Foreign Affairs have a protocol? They didn't list on the Ministry of Foreign Affairs protocol to know that foreign guests is coming through.
They wrote us and told us to get cars ready to go to the airport. We don't have guest cars. We can do a regular government car, use it, and send it back.
That
about the apology.
So let me ask you, when you see Gafar in a car and put Gafar down, let me put it down. The Minister of Foreign Finance, you see Gafar down and put Gafar down.
Put the dean of the cabinet and put the dean of the cabinet down to use a car for a national program, or I prefer for us to divert national embarrassment to put.
No, then you have caused an embarrassment. I've been
So,
telling my
so you
friends,
see,
man.
so
You, are,
this,
you
this
see
is
that,
what we
right?
were saying. You see the
That's
reaction.
it. You see the reaction? There should be a part. No, man,
Yeah.
we don't have
So
to.
I think you should, yeah, they should. You
Yeah,
should take
yeah.
the recommendation and create a policy on how they go about doing that.
I mean, that's
If you receive that communication that the president was receiving guests more than 12 hours before you went in the street to you call it commandeer car from people, I think within just even 5 hours you can read someone, maybe even that WhatsApp message and tell them.
This is a
You
private
understand? Then the
notice.
president will know that they can turn that car over, use their private car and go to work.
That's a
You
private
can't
notice.
embarrass people. Your reaction to this issue this morning, I mean, it's even more embarrassing than even the action you took in the street.
So that tells you that the action is true or worse than this one.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
See the man's posture.
So can you see Gaffer in the car and put Gaffer down? You said, well, you have a foreign guest coming. Let's move on, man.
Yeah.
Folks,
we're so sorry that we can't take public reaction on your own reaction, but I mean that's what it is.
So you'll see more Ali in the car and put more Ali down, right? And a GSA.
People they able to do the thing over. Yeah.
Let's link up with our guest this morning. Yes. I'm sorry, Evelyn, for the easy of your time, man.
Sorry, because we just wanted to do him justice too.
Yeah.
So
you're live on Evelyn. Good morning. Good morning. Yeah. Let me get a brief out.
Yes. Good morning.
Mac morning. Evelyn morning.
Okay. Oh.
So we hope to make up of your time. Sorry about that. Yeah.
Yes, we'll do our best.
Oh, you're not seeing him? Yeah.
Are doing justice.
I will expose the man. The man came on the compound this morning and sent me text say, "Oh, Marka, I'm here. Good night."
They even just sent me a text say, "Oh, I'm on the compound already."
So, bro, the man trying to make correction, but he can't make it. Yes, but it's great to have the both of you. And firstly, just before we start this conversation, let me appreciate the fact that you have dedicated some of your time to catering to some portion of the Liberian population, advocating for the well-being, for equality, for protection of women and girls. I think we must openly, as we celebrate International Women's Day, I want to openly appreciate the both of you for what you're doing in the country.
Thank you so much, Marka.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, so let's start with because of time we'll go straight into business. Let's start firstly with recently the Men Against Rape and Domestic Violence signed, or the both of you, Just a Girl Initiative and MADV signed an MOU. Tell us exactly what is in that memorandum of understanding. We can start with Evelyn and then we'll go to Mark.
Thank you so much. So a lot is into that document. It clearly spells out what the two institutions are going to do. Our partnership, reaching out to communities, mobilizing resources together, meeting with churches, like I said, religious community, ordinary Liberians, meeting with men, establishing he for she clubs in schools where we will have young men as well as boys who will be championing on various campuses the need for protection, advocacy, and advancement of girls and women. These are young men who will consider our he for she on those campuses. So we also have activities such as organizing sports tournaments across communities where sports is one thing that brings a lot of people together. Once you having some recreation, you see young people, middle age, older people, everyone is there. So we're going to organize these events to be able to reach out to more people with the messages of, anti-rape, anti-domestic violence, and also helping to reorient people's minds about some of the myth, some of the justification, why people do what they do, and just a lot about rape, domestic violence, and how the society can be a place for everybody to live freely, happily, as men are humans, women too are humans. And children, boys, there should be no space where boys are being sodomized. You follow the news. So the issue of rape and domestic violence, it's not just girls alone. It's not just women alone. But there are men who are also being abused. But we have to do more awareness. I know people will say, but we've had awareness before. Yes, we have to keep it up. We have to keep talking about it. So there's a lot in that document, just to answer your question.
Okay, Mark.
Yeah, so Mrs. Sigby has outlined it, what we have in the document. And Marka, to be frank, we as men, we are part of the problem. So Men Against Rape and Domestic Violence, seeing that Just a Girl initiative is an institution that is looking out for girls, women, and people who are less fortunate. We thought it was to align our ideas. Aligning our ideas mean that we should follow all of these things that she outlined in her opening statement. Opening statement for us to reach out to people who are into such. Our society is such that someone will say to someone and say, oh, it is not my problem. But if you say it is not your problem today, it might be your problem in the next few hours or in the next few days. So that's why we saw it fit to join our forces together. So we have this slogan at Men Against Rape and Domestic Violence Mavi. We say, men, we are part of the problem, so let's be part of the solution. So we want to be part of the solution. And like Evelyn was saying, people will say that, oh, there are too many awareness around here. But have you ever heard that men have gathered to say no to rape and domestic violence? This is, I think, is the first time in Liberia to have men organization to look in the direction of fighting, stopping rape and domestic violence. Marka, you follow Mark McGonfia on Facebook. I'm a father of girls. Yeah. So I really want to save space for my girls and the girls of others, including your daughter and the daughter of Mrs. Sigby and the daughter of my neighbors and Liberians in general. So that's why we are into this, and the agreement is such that it gives all the opportunity to go far and wide in or any other area in Liberia. Places like Hatai centers, visit intellectual forums after the post finish speaking their big grammars. At least we go in one little rape and domestic violence messages, at least to tell them that it is not good to rape, it is not good to abuse women, it is not good to abuse even your children around you. So that's just why in the document Marka did this.
Yes, that is good. So let me bring you back a little bit now since we talk about the MOU. Just give us a little hint about how this whole Malvi came about. We understand it is, should I call it a legacy of one of our fallen colleagues, Molly Trojan Kiazulu, and you are bearing the torch now.
Yes, Trojan Molly Kiazulu in 2020. At the time, former President George Mannanwea declared rape as a national emergency. So he came out to me, he said, Mark, and other guys, including Lester Morris, he said, gentlemen, what can we do? Because this is a national fight, and the president has said it is a national emergency. What can we do as men to join this fight? So when he came over to me, I embraced the idea, and we sold the idea to other friends like Funanti Nimle, who is currently a chairman in Dupont Road, and other men around. So we started operating this organization in 2020. We went to Grand Bassa County in 2022 with our peer education program. Because Marka, the mind of children is just like empty sheet, and then you write on that sheet, it stays on it forever. And that it was said by John Locke, a philosopher. So their minds are tabula rasa. So we thought going out to children to instill in them the right frame of mind that you should not beat your wife, you should not abuse your wife, you should not rape. So when they come out growing up as adults, they're going to know that it is not good to do these things, and they're going to know that doing it will place them into some tight corners behind bars, and it will cause psychological effect for another person. It will cause the life of another person. So we went to Buchanan that time, and we had other journalists and other men in Grand Bassa County who formed part of our gathering there. We had over 200 people around to listen to our message, children, school-going children. So my view was organized by Trojan and few other men. And since Trojan is dead, we saw the dream behind this. We said, no, our colleague was here with this idea. He sold this idea to us. So our Cody is no more. We cannot let his idea to die along with him. So we have to take this idea and run fast with it and ensure that we prevent rape from occurring. Because many a times, Marka, you know that in our country, people like to wait for things to happen before they start to look for solution for it. But we, from my view, we see that we should prevent it from happening before we go out to, to condemn.
Okay. Yeah. So, Evelyn, you want to say just a little bit of what you do also at Just a Girl Initiative?
Definitely. Just a Girl was established in 2014 officially, but it started as an effort of helping some vulnerable young women. At the time, I worked at the Liberia Women Democracy Radio, where I served as reporter, later to executive producer, and then a lead on the morning show. At that time, LWDR morning talk show. So back then, it was just me, trying to solve a problem after documenting the stories of young women who were doing commercial sex. I remember the famous Data Boo. Now there's a church there.
Mm-hmm.
I did a documentary. I still have it online. People still do listen, and it was often played on women radio. And at that time, the government took action to demolish that place as a result of that report. So I felt the honest that, well, what else? Because I tell you for sure, when I did that report, I had sleepless night. Emotionally, I was disturbed. And hearing a person telling me that they have to sleep with 5 men, 4 men, just sometimes they even make 500 LD. So one of those I talked to, one of the girls said that she wanted to leave that lifestyle. And I said, what do you think you want to do? And she said she wanted to learn tailoring. But then I was working at Women Radio, working for, I think, around 375 but then. So I started reaching out, helping them after I got to the position of executive
You're
producer.
really making money. Oh.
Yeah, LWTR, one of the best paid radio stations that, 300 is not a lot. Other media away do pay people better. But for the level, looking at people's making 75, 50, 100 as money salary, at that time, LWTR, Echo was on mail then, they were better in pay. So I started reaching out with my meager salary, helping some of them. Some of the girls were pregnant, they were still going the block. A lot was still happening. So I started chipping in. And then I said, what can I do to just take it beyond giving this to just these girls that I started working with or helping just because of what they told me? What can I do? But that request of one of them kept, on my mind, what can I do? And that's how the vision of helping them and establishing an institution came about. So it started with just one girl. I started helping the first girl who was pregnant and still going the block. That's why you see the institution is called Just a Girl. If I can help one girl change her life, give her a better alternative, empower her, give her skill, that's how it started. So today we have more than 500 people who've been through our programs, the mentoring program, the vocational program, the economic empowerment program. Just a lot has happened over the past 5 to 10 years now.
Okay, yes, that is great. So, Liberia is should I say observing or celebrating International Women's Day. Today is officially tomorrow, but according to the proclamation, because tomorrow is Saturday, we saw that the official celebration is going to be happening today. But let's hear from the both of you what you make of this day and what have you planned to do on this year's International Women's Day.
And interestingly, what we've done is the beginning of what's ahead, a lot to happen. That's why we are rolling out the sports tournament in this March in commemoration, because the entire month of March is considered as the International Women's Month. Officially, the main celebration date globally is March 8th.
Mm-hmm.
And because March 8th is on a Saturday, so we are engaging schools. Saturday schools are 9 sections, so we'll be reaching out to school. We have a list of 3 schools that we'll be reaching out to beginning to this
Right after this show.
Right after this talk show. We're going to Elizabeth Silly Moruba Institute, ECMA, in Margibi. We're going to Sherman Adam. I spoke with the principal administrator there. We are also going to DPS, Dwazon Public School, where we're going to engage. We're going to keep it interactive. We're going to give her scratch cards. to young people who answer questions about violence. You know, we're going to keep it really engaging. So that's the first start. The International Women's Month is observed globally as a way to amplify, advocate, and lead for the protection of women and girls globally, mostly around the world. So for us as Liberia, as a country, country have different local teams. Countries do carry on different activities, in commemoration of the day. So for us at Mavi and Jagi, we have organized these different school engagements. And then on March 15 now will be the sports tournament at the Duperville Philadelphia football field.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes, Mark, you want to say?
And the match he's talking about, we already drew the
The
fixture,
first
right?
stuff, yeah.
So
I was asking you last day when I was doing the flyer. I'm like,
so
how
let's go.
Mama tell me what they call
Let's-
fixture? I'm like, what
she's
sports?
she's not ready into sports. So when she asked me last night, I said, okay, I'm going to send you the names of the teams that we expect to be on the page that day. We have Media United versus Police Academy motorcyclists. Then
Okay.
we have the Sports Writers Association playing the Spinner Social and Athletic Club. So these are clubs that our late friend associated with when he was alive. Children used to be member of the Sport Writer Association. Used to be member of the Media United and Spinner Social and Athletic Club. So we thought it wise to get the teams and join them along with the motorcyclists, because when we're talking about violence, most of the time I don't want to put a tag on them, but most of the time people want to tag motorcyclists, but we see it fit to bring them on board to be part of the change I want to see.
That's very important.
Yes. So being part of the tournament, they are going to carry the message why. And as part of what we're going to do, we are ensuring that we parade with band as early as 8 o'clock to march to the field. Then the motorcyclists going to join us in that parade as well. Then after the parade, we do our formal opening statements where we'll do kick off and stuff like that. Then thereafter, we start to kick rape and domestic violence outside of Liberia.
Yes.
We're kicking it very hard.
Yes. Yeah. So so this little bit general or open question. Evelyn, over the period of time we've been celebrating this International Women's Day and different activities towards protecting women and girls and the population in general, and ending SGBV and all of that, including even the 16 days of activism. We do all of these things. But you want to say on an overall note, how much impact have the activities marking these various days have on protecting women, girls, and boys in Liberia? How much have we gained from these activities as a country?
So if you're talking about attaching numbers, it will be difficult, but I can tell you that a lot has happened in terms of impact. Number one, you have people now having the voice to be able to speak out. As a result of these international celebrations, now you will see movement, growth of different movements, women movement of men. Now you have one group called Mavi as a result of some of these past years celebrations that our late colleague Trojan Casual was a part of. All of these advocacy and awareness have grown or lifted the voices of people to join the fight against rape or creating awareness about domestic violence. I will talk about some of the impact today. You see, we have a declaration that was done making or declaring rape as a national emergency. It came as a result of all of the group collectively coming together to raise awareness and say this thing has to stop, or this is the degree or extent to which rape is affecting our country, it's affecting families, and affecting the nation in general. So if we have not had these different, meetings, raising the different issues, putting the numbers in terms of data, if you count 10 Liberian women, you will find at least 3 who have been victims of rape or domestic violence or some form of violence. In every 3 educated women, you find 1 woman who has faced some form of violence. So all of these, for me, in terms of impact, I will say the impacts are there. It's a lot. Today, we also have a law against rape the domestic violence law, you have the domestic violence law that was passed. So all of this wouldn't have happened if we are not getting involved or also following these different international protocols that we can say as a country, these are the steps we've taken. Today we have a law against rape for Madam Saliu's administration. We have it that clearly states, what constitutes rape. Having sex with someone under 18, having sex with someone without their consent, jointly, forcing somebody, penetrating them. All of these came as a result of years of advocacy, years of awareness, years of observing this international day, the International Women's Day, the 16th day of activism that takes place in December. A lot has happened. Today you have movements that came, as a result of this different advocacy.
And Marka, let me just add up briefly. You see, we have this program on Prom FM called Protecting Our Women and Children Against Rape and Domestic Violence. The last time we were on air, after doing a program, a caller called and then he gave a testimony and said, I really wanted to beat somebody. The person always hampering my wife when I'm not around. So I really intended to go and just fight him. But, doing simple library English, the program Prom FM. Then he said, the way you taught the thing, it now cool my heart down. So I will not fight American. What I will do, I will go to the law. So when he said that, I knew that we were making impact. And the last time another lady called, I think Evelyn, Joseph director, gave you the woman number and you called her.
And I gave her the way out.
And we gave her the way out. So we're making impact. All the various appearances and stuff we do, they are making impact. But if like she said, you cannot measure it in numbers now, but they are huge. They are huge. If you want to know that they are huge, visit small communities and start to talk to some children, women. You're gonna realize that there are many of them who have participated in gatherings that talk about rape and domestic violence. But we have to keep saying it.
Okay.
We have to keep pressing it. We are so entrenched with politics in Liberia that when these kind of things are being discussed, you really don't get much people calling. But when you say you can call about or some politician has done this, you will get a call until Marka, you will say, my people, let's stay, we'll do it tomorrow again.
And sometimes when they even end the show, people are still
People still call.
Yes.
So, Marka, if you can recall, there were times in Liberia where every other week you will hear of some kind of rape incident. To some extent, I don't have the numbers right now on hand, it has dropped just from the observation following. So, at first, every other week, it was some kind of rape incident in newspaper or on some kind of radio station. So the continuous awareness, we've seen some changes taking place.
I used to report for Women Voices newspaper. There's a newspaper that squarely look at women issues. And I reported a lot of stories that women were being violated, children abused, rape occurring. And then, you don't see it. You don't see government coming up with something tangible to.
I know.
Yeah. So now it pains me that when you do some of these stories, expecting that you're gonna get a call that yes, this person has been taken to so place or the person has been jailed. So now it takes long time. It's tiring at times. So sometimes it sometimes make people weak. But again, we are not gonna give up. There's a movement we have started. We're going to go to the counties. We're going to reach out to people. We're going to touch bases. The places that the Ministry of Gender has named as hotspots. We're going to go to these places and talk about rape and domestic violence.
Okay.
And if one person hears that message and turn their back, I think we've made impact.
Okay, so we would have some interaction with the public, but I would just ask the both of you your message to the public as we celebrate this year's International Women's Day, or if we may, Women's Month. What message do you, the both of you, have for the Liberian public?
You want to start with me?
Yes, exactly.
So the message for me from the angle of just a girl, we have for the Liberian people is that one, every woman deserves to live. Two, women's rights are human rights. Three, it could be your daughter, your wife, or your sister. If we all don't collectively come together to stop this thing or advocate and just say this should not be part of our present day civilization.
Okay, so from the standpoint of MAVI, Men Against Rape and Domestic Violence, we want to call on the public to see rape as a taboo. If you drink, almost all of the drinks in Liberia, when you hear advertisement about it, they were talking about manpower. So if you drink your manpower drink, you show it to Kima say no. Just keep it and another time Kima hold it. Don't force it. Please, we should stop rape. We should stop doing those things that will bring our women and children down to the floor. We need to stop it. On this day of International Women's Day, on behalf of Men Against Rape and Domestic Violence, Fonantique Kofa, Joseph Riggs, Lester Morris, and the list continues, Jonathan Grisby, we say, my people, you gotta stop rape. You gotta stop domestic violence. They think spoiling every one of us name. Because when you hear about rape, they will call the man name, but they will say a man has raped. So it places dark cloud on every one of us as men. So that's why we are into this advocacy, calling on all men to see rape as their taboo. Let them forget about rape. In our Liberian English, yeah.
They should negotiate with the PV people.
Yeah, they negotiate with people.
Even if you negotiate with the big person, granted that the person is above 18, the law also provides it must meet that consent.
They should agree.
You
negotiation.
So there are times, that's why you see this awareness is important. There are times you hear men, but that kind of big girl, she can say the raper, look at her, that only 18-year-old. But the fact that she did not agree, maybe you like the girl doesn't like you. Leave her. I've heard stories of men having sex with 40, 60-year-old people, like the case from Bomi, where this young man went and raped this 74-year-old old lady.
Yeah.
Who hasn't done men bending for ages.
Yeah, they but our Oma.
He said, but I whole Oma. So that's why we have to create that awareness. The law says, if you have sex with anybody that is under 18, it's called statutory rape. If you have sex with somebody where the person did not agree, it's also considered as rape. If you have sex, you say 2-3 person that get anyhow, we're not trying to get all the body she not telling her know in the community. So when you do your sex for her when she coming from buying cannot, you jump her, that one is called gay rape. All of these are punishable under our law.
Okay.
You see, Marka, let me come in quickly with the story from Grand Crew, from Roger. I mean, this 48-year-old man went and raped a 12-year-old child. It didn't satisfy you. Open a chest. You walk Kuba, and told the parents that a wife.
After you finish telling you there, you might get phone and give her 1,000.
1,000 LD. Thankfully, they have judged him and they found him guilty.
Yes.
Then he go sit down somewhere and pay for his crime.
Yeah, see, I even understand that the judge we say upheld the juror's verdict and has issued a 50-year jail sentence for him. Even though we understand that his lawyer took an appeal.
Yeah.
That appeal will not work. It will not work. Because here's the thing, you see, that's why we need this awareness. Then you see community people will say, oh, and the man go to jail for all that time. Who will take care of his children? Who will do the one? How the woman will survive? They don't even think about the consequences rape has on the victim. Most time you see community protecting the perpetrator in the name of the people will suffer and they won't. But why wouldn't you consider what is going to happen to that girl or that boy who has been raped or sodomized?
Okay, yes, Mark Megonfia, Evening Parasigi, they are here this morning from Just a Girl Initiative as well as Men Against Rape and Domestic Violence. Call us this morning on 0770-153265, 0770-153265 and 0770-202579. These are numbers you can call to participate. 0770-202579. Let's take the first caller this morning. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning. Go ahead quickly.
My name is Aaron
Okay, go ahead.
And we know that women are our mother, our sister, and our wife. And the one thing is consideration, and it's also get awareness to the women that very, restless. Because the women get in charge of men, so men don't have, nothing to keep it going. So the more get restless, they'll sound, raise up the.
My man, some dress code give you right to do anything. You say you can stop that, man.
We'll address that. Let him finish.
Morning.
Good morning, my name is Joe Manley. I'm calling from Second.
Okay.
Yes, I want to commend this studio guest and for the advocacy in the country. But they need to run an advocacy on a parallel line. There are also women in this country who are also abusing men. Their awareness must go on a parallel level. That's why you see domestic violence seem high and more gender sensitive towards women. But the issues of gender abuse and men are also not reported. So I also want my parents to calculate that. Also, I'm thinking that it's an advocacy going forward.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for joining. Let's take the next caller. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Go ahead.
Yeah.
What's the name and where are you calling us from?
Yeah, I'm Joe calling from Maggie.
Okay.
Yeah. The issue of the politician we're talking about, or like where to point for Joshua. When you cover Joshua, I want to talk about a king for the city. And I got there, the couple of now.
What happened there?
I saw a lot of children, girl children with boys. It has so many people who should put Joshua, man. They were opposite of the pharmacy. That in the pharmacy. I got there, it was surprising to me. I saw a lot of children, girl children, all of the 8, 10, 9, 8, plenty. So what people doing towards that place that's very wrong.
Okay. They will answer you. Good morning.
Marka, good morning. And let me say good morning to your guest studio, and I want to appreciate them for this initiative. I join you, Marka, from District 4, and this is the voice of Ako Ebo Senior. Marka, I want to ask you guys this morning on certain issues, and I need clarity. Most times when most of our young girls and boys are being marginalized when it comes to this issue of rape, sometimes the family will say, let's talk this thing family way. Let's take the kids from probably the police station or the school or whatever, we bring it back and talk it family way. So I want to know what are those mechanisms they have in structure or in place when it comes to this issue of talking a family way. When the case is arrested by them, what do they do? Or how do they help them in pushing their case when it comes to this issue of talking a family way? Because by right, people are not supposed to be talking this issue of rape cases family way.
Okay, thank you.
Mechanisms they have in place when it comes to this issue of talking this issue family way.
Okay, thank you so much for joining. Let's take the next caller. Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning, studio guys. Good morning, Marka. Happy Women's Day to every woman that listed this morning, even those that are listed. I just want to say thank you to Mike in a special way. So for men, pushing out for women, God may be a special gift among us. And we just want to heal you. I know that woman that you married to, that she can feel it every day that she had that special husband.
Yo, you can even sell cornbread. I think you can do well. You can even sell cornbread.
I can sell my own cornbread.
I'll find you one day. And let people let them focus on what we celebrate. And then people stop asking how about the dresses the people wear on the day. Everybody entitled to what they're supposed to wear. And the only thing I want to just call on mothers. I will call mothers first. Let our girls inform our girls' life. And just tell them, leave it. You will hear somebody saying, I'm a husband, I'm a wife, I'm a woman. Cut it off better way. Cut it off. You gotta have a play KK, bro.
you were talking about that 12-year-old kids. I'm sure there was something so gateway that started. Why would the man open his chest and start walking to the parents and say that my wife's there? Then it started somewhere. So my people, let's get informed. The husbands help us. We cannot do it alone. So that single woman that fighting to pick up your child, I salute you today. Above all else, let Christ be involved. Because except He is, we cannot do it alone. Thank you very much. May you all have a blessed day. Happy Women's Day again.
Okay, thank you, Madam Victoria Pabai, for joining us this morning. Good morning.
Yeah, good morning, Marka. Good morning to the studio here. My name is Emma. I'm on the accident this morning. Marka, let me appreciate your studio here. I'll be down with you on account of it. But let me aware that whatever is not like we're alone. You know, carry the raw weather. Some of us, I will be a couple of girls, children, and they have a heart and a soul. And I don't want anybody telling me to do that. So it is important. I don't want to put it together that I will tell my heart to sleep with the government. I will be free for all around the nation. Thank you so much for your platform.
Yes, I think this discussion is very important. The calls are coming from all angles, but let me take the last one because of time. Go ahead.
Yeah, good morning.
Morning.
Yeah, good morning, Marka. This is Anthony Zoga from District 4.
Okay.
Yeah, I want to appreciate the student guests for their declaration on the issue of rape in our country. One thing we want to, I want to say that is that the issue of rape in the city now, they have been limited. But up interior, the rape cases up interior, is a huge number up interior. And the people up interior, they normally compromise rape cases. They always in the hand of compromising rape cases. I just came from up interior just 4 days ago. I was in Myean. I was in a case there. A lady there was raped, I think 2 years ago by a guy. And they kept that case on a carpet. They were just reasoning when the lady got pregnant by the same guy. And they came out and said, I'm raped. You see? So the people of interior, they are the one creating the issue of rape cases in the country on a very huge number.
Okay.
So that awareness go up interior, let the people up interior be able to know the issue of how rape cases go about.
Okay, thank you, Anthony, and thanks to all of you who called. And I know a lot of people are still calling, but we are sorry we can't take all of the calls because of time. So we'll just rejoin our guests, Evelyn Parasibi and Mark Mengonfia, to respond to the callers.
All right, so I jotted down some points raised by the callers. One caller asked about how are we diversifying our advocacy, looking at the issue of women who are also perpetrators of violence. Of course, we are very clear. If you read the MOU, even with in our engagements, we say violence affects all persons, men, women, boys, girls. On average, the reason why most time we put emphasis on girls and women because they are the most victims. They are the most. It's not that men are not being violated. There are incidents, there are rape cases, there are domestic violence cases. We follow a story with our LWTR of a woman who will beat her husband and sit over him. And when the people come, she say, yeah. So many a times the men like I will beat him today, just leave us. I will beat him, I will deal with him. But most of the time when the men are violated, they feel ashamed that their friends will laugh at them. You know, look at you a man. Don't even say that thing. You can't say your woman can beat you. Because culture have told men that men you strong. Men can't cry. So even if you got 2 boys and you got the girl and the boy fighting, and the girl is overcoming the boy and he's crying, you hear the parent forcing her, go back there. You stupid. You gonna let her get up to you. Man, you crying. Oh, look at you here. But the truth is, the girl is strong. So violence affects everybody. But we should report all. There are women who, you know, for some reason, may think they're attracted to a boy. If that boy is underage or he doesn't agree and she has anything to do with him, it's considered rape, it should be reported. Just as the women will report the cases, you know, of a rape incident against a girl. So all cases of violence should be reported, my brother. And we've preached it. Even when we go out, we do preach it. When we go on the field on the 15th of March, we will also preach it. Somebody talk about the dress code. of the girls and women being responsible for the rape incidents that are happening. For me, I will tell you no. No. How does a 12-year-old in the village, the incident just mentioned, how did she dress? 1. 2, the story I did in way back more than 10 years ago of a 1-year-old child that was raped by another neighbor. They all share farm border. They are finding the other person farm, and that child died. There were lots of stories and reports that I did. Children who are still wearing diapers. How does that relate to the way they dress? If you read, for me, I like to give my advocacy and also balance it biblically. 2 Samuel chapter 13. The Bible tells us about a girl by the name of Tamar who was raped by her brother. The brother name is Ammon. According to that passage, her own brother, you know those days, biblical time, women dress proper. Now our generation, right?
Wear their whole
the whole long with everything on it. How did she dress that made, imagine,
her brother to rape her?
Imagine, if you read, rape is nothing that happened by mistake. It is premeditated, it is planned, it is orchestrated,
well calculated.
And he had a friend who was telling him, "Oh, mommy, why are you looking so sad?" He said, "Oh, I'm in love with my sister." He said, "Oh, you whole king's son, are you the one talking about you love your sister? You know what to do?" He said, "Can I tell you what to do? Just add that you sick, let her prepare food, and when she comes." So rape never happens by mistake. It was nothing about the way she dressed, that made her brother to lust. I said lust. To lust after her. So all of this justification, the women are not dressing good. Okay, I agree. The one that even we consider they're doing commercial sex. Along the road, who are dressing naked. Are they raping them? No. So that justification that the way people dress, I'm a supporter of proper dressing, yes. I believe it puts value to a woman, yes. But it is not a justifiable reason why somebody would take pants down and forcefully penetrate another person. All the cases we followed had nothing to do with their dressing. 7-year-old, 12-year-old, 10-year-old, okay, the 16-year-old Myean Bomi that was raped by the 25-year-old boy. How did that old lady dress? So people, we need to do this, and when people need to grab it. Another person asks about, men should stop calling girls their wives. I agree 100%. In the neighborhood, you say, "Oh, my woman, yeah."
I don't allow that.
Stop it.
Don't allow anybody
stop telling any man to call your child your wife. She's your daughter. She's just a girl. She's not a wife. So until we can change our mind on these things, we say, "Oh, those are culturally accepted things that we do." No. They say everything can start small.
Okay. So yes, because of time, we'll just use 2 minutes to close. I beg.
Yeah. So the fellow call from Myean, we were in Myean recently. We appear on Classic FM of Imara Digler, and we preach the same kind of message on Classic FM. So to add on to what Evelyn has said, I don't allow anybody call my children their Jew. I don't allow that. I see it as something that we should not encourage. So to close up, my name is Mark Gonfia. I'm a journalist by profession. I work with New Republic newspaper, and I correspond for the Associated Press. I want to see a world where our children will grow up in a space that they will not be afraid to be raped or intimidated. So if you want to be part of this movement, just call my number 0776 10 50 60 0888 10 50 60. Very easy number. You call me and form part of this movement. We are volunteering our services, like she's talking about sport planning. We're taxing each other to do it. So you have to come on board and join this organization. Thank you very much to Truth FM.
Yes.
Evelyn?
Yes, Evelyn.
Yeah, thank you. So we want to kindly send out a call, an appeal. We can't do this without money. We know even the very Bible, Proverbs say money answers all things. The only thing is salvation. So we need money to do these activities, to reach out to the schools, to go to counties. Of course, the brother who asked about whether we're going to the county Montserrat is not Liberia. Of course, we have Myean, we have Bon, we have Bassa. I think about 6 counties that we're starting with, but we need money. So there are people out there, please, you will see text messages from Evelyn. Please don't ignore it. And you know what? When the person read a message, you can know that they read it. I'm begging you. We'll be reaching out to you. We sometimes get frustrated writing letters and you spend resources, you print, then you transport, and when you go, you get no reply. Even though emails are on the letterhead, numbers are on the letterhead, they will not call you, they will not even bother professionals. So please, I'm not writing letter now. I will come to offices, I will send text messages, I will work on some people. Whatever little 10, 20, 15 you got, it will be a big help in this effort to help spread the message against rape and domestic violence. Yes,
Okay.
thank you so much to Truth FM. Thanks to everyone for listening. Let's fight against rape. It's everybody's business. It could be your daughter, your wife, your brother, or your sister.
Thank you, Evelyn Badasibi, Mark Mengonfia, they've been here this morning. We're taking a break to be back as our next set of guests will be here shortly. So, yes, this break.
Ria TV, True FM.
Ria TV, True FM.
On Ria TV,
into True FM 96.1.
What's the meaning of the black barrier?
The black barrier is to tell Joseph Walker if you don't organize yourself in a grateful manner, we'll keep your later.
You might say what you want to say, but for us, we are here to make sure we build our country, that we are respected. We have donors that are coming because of the confidence.
Now, I'm not supposed to laugh when your team faster than baby. Faster can never be baby because faster is the number one and she is the giant when it comes to electrical materials, plumbing materials, and good quality pin. We are high class and first class giant. We have the European wire, we have number 14, number 12, number 8, number 10, and we also have quality plumbing materials of all kinds. We also have guarantee and strong and long lasting pin. Faster is always number one. Faster is
Ria TV, True FM.
Ria TV, True FM.
On Ria TV,
into True FM 96.1.
What's the meaning of the black barrier?
The black barrier is to tell Joseph Walker if you don't organize yourself in a grateful manner, we'll keep your later.
You might say what you want to say, but for us, we are here to make sure we build our country, that we are respected. We have donors that are coming because of the confidence.
News summary at 12. My name is Hansen there represent. Welcome to News and Analysis 30 minutes of news presentation about Liberia, Africa, and our one world.
Presenting this newscast is proudly sponsored by Orange Liberia and EcoBank Liberia Limited.
How is life after the presidency?
But before the presidency, the same life that what you see. I have a different life. You know, when I was not president, this life that what I live. You know, with my family and
I have a lot of interest in the health sector, the educational sector, and the agriculture sector. Roads, connecting roads in this country.
We are calling international community to come to intervene for us because, like I just stated previously, we don't know who to trust.
Always make sure to turn on to our
Myean TV and listening to Truth FM 96.1.
How many of you know about the breakfast conference? Yeah, so Reverend Jordan has joined us this morning to share breakfast. Meanwhile, we're sharing breakfast on the TBS until 10 o'clock. Then he tell us about the breakfast conference. Right? Yes, 961, the heart and soul of Liberia, in the midst of all we do, country first. Yes, Reverend, good morning to you. Welcome to the TBS. Yeah, great. For the benefit of the listening audience, can you introduce yourself first?
Clarence Jonah. I organization for crossing cultures.
Mm-hmm. Great. Yes. So how's the ministry?
We are very involved into evangelism and church planting.
Mm-hmm.
Last month, side churches.
Mm-hmm.
Share the gospel
Mm-hmm. Okay. Okay. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Okay. Great. So let's get to the key focus here. When you say breakfast conference, what is that? I mean, breakfast conference.
So, men have a great responsibility. We are responsible to take care of our family, to have
a healthy relationship.
Especially we find ourselves, fathers, for the most part, fathers.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
A lot of churches are cluster of
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So this conference is meant to challenge fathers.
Okay.
Step up, to well, also take advantage of
giving opportunities that are around us.
Mm-hmm.
What are Christian men doing in our communities?
Mm-hmm.
When we talk about churches, not a full walls where we just come and go. We have to make our presence felt in our communities. And there are a lot of things that fathers or men can do, that will showcase, the love of Christ. And so this conference is all about that. We've mobilized 60 fathers, but I think the number is increasing, together at the Liberia Christian Ministries International Church on the 15th of March. We'll just be there for from 7:45 on the dot. You can't have breakfast 12 o'clock.
Yeah, you're right with that.
And we have breakfast, but we'll also be studying God's word and be challenged, by one of my friends from the U.S. who is coming to teach us and to help us understand that we have great responsibility to our family, the church, and society.
Is this first of this kind having, not normal thing? You say breakfast conference.
Yes,
I mean,
yes. To be honest,
the church and the men's department?
It's not the first time for men to gather, but it's the first time for us to have this men breakfast. And to be honest with you, we are intentional about it.
What's the major email objective? Anybody can just do a breakfast conference.
Yes, well, as I said, the aim or objective is to challenge fathers to wake up. All right, to wake up, especially Christian fathers. All right, to the needs around us, spiritual, physical. There are a lot that we can do. I was in a state some months back, and I saw fathers gathering in the morning very early. You know what I mean? We had over 50 fathers, and I was their speaker. And they will meet to speak. To listen to God's word, to have breakfast, obviously, but also to come up with needs, share the needs in the community, all right, in the community of faith, in their communities, and so on. And that was very touching. And I thought it wise to come and and introduce that to our fathers. We can do more for Christ. And so it's not just having breakfast, even though we have breakfast, rich breakfast, and you are invited. When you please come.
Okay.
But we'll be studying God's word and challenging ourselves and evaluating our work. Are we doing this as men, as fathers? How is your men department? What are you guys doing? Sometimes men just gather and eat and then they go. But we have a community, that is in dying need of the love of God.
Okay.
What are we doing? So yeah, we want to challenge men, to think outside the box, to do church differently.
So it's exclusively for the men's department of
Yes,
the church.
yes.
It's not an open men's.
No, it's open. We are the host. We are the host, but we have invited other men to come
from other denominations
Yeah.
can come through.
Yeah.
Well, great. What do you hope to achieve after this breakfast conference?
Well-
After the conference was ended, what do you hope to achieve?
After the conference, I believe firmly that God is going to change hearts. All right. After the conference, I look forward to seeing men being more involved in their churches, men being involved in their communities. All right. Men leading evangelism, leading prayer, leading other things, going to the prison compound, the police station. You know what I'm saying? Connecting with people in the community. I look forward to seeing men be more involved. All right. And not just sitting there and for example, there are some things happening in our community that are not good. What are Christian men doing about it? You know what I'm saying?
Maybe the church is silent.
Yeah.
National things happening. The media will have to push before the church come out to talk.
This is sad. I know. Well, let me balance it. The church is speaking, but sometimes we look to pastors.
The church is also fighting.
We'll come to that.
Okay.
Sometimes we look to pastors. Pastors should be the one to speak. No, but as men leaders, as even men, members of the men department, we can do a lot. We can visit schools and just pray for our kids.
Not the pastors.
No,
not all the responsibility of the pastor.
No. My role as a pastor is to equip the saints. The saints are the ones that do that are to do the work of God. You know what I'm saying? Visiting people and so forth. I visit at times, but my role is to study God's word and prepare my congregation to do the work of ministry, and that's what we are doing. We are trying to create this opportunity where fathers will begin to see themselves as leaders and as people who God expects to partner with pastors in sharing the gospel and reaching people for Christ in using different means. All right. And so that's what we want to do. We want to challenge them. You can do a lot, not just the pastor. Some children in the community, they are struggling. They don't have the means to go to school. They don't have the means to, some people have some serious problem going on. What are Christian men doing about it? And so this men breakfast is meant to challenge us to wake up, especially in the time we find ourselves, to wake up. Sometimes, we wait for pastors to go, like, for example, to maybe the Capitol building, to pray for our lawmakers and so. The men department, we can do that. We can just put ourselves together and get there and build relationships with these guys. It's not all about waiting for pastors to do it. We have the opportunity, we have the platform. All right. And so that's what we want to do. We want to stir that in our men. on the 15th. And I know I'm definitely sure that God is going to change.
Spiritually, how do you see the country as a whole? For me, I respect the spirit realm than the physical realm, right? And how do you see the country as a whole?
You know, in as much as we
are the spirit country will have confused country, ugly mindset of the people.
Yeah, we have a lot of challenges. All right, spiritually, physically, but you know what? The comforting part is that God is still at work. Yeah.
You think Liberia need prayer? All what we have,
God is still at work. Liberia needs prayer. I mean,
you have diamond, you have iron ore, you have gold, you have the black sand that some other countries don't have. You have just everything. You think the country still needs prayer?
Yeah.
Or our leaders are just wicked to us?
We can stop praying. We can stop praying for them. You know, the Bible says the heart of kings are in His hands. All right, and I believe strongly that if the church continues to pray in the midst of discouragement, you know, God, as I said earlier on, is still at work. God is going to bring transformation to our nation. I was in Ghana. Listen, I was in Ghana recently, and I tell you what, the country Ghana exists because of prayer.
For just 6 to 8 years.
Because of the church. And Liberia has come this far because of prayer, because of the church. There are faithful men and women who are standing in the gap in the midst of all the chaotic situations that we find ourselves going through. And so let's not be discouraged. You know, let's not say, oh, it's enough. You know, let's stop praying. Yes.
I'm looking at your face, Pastor Jonah. Yeah. If you are praying for the country, make a change. Would the prayer start from the top, those in the higher hiding government, or the lower men?
Well, we have to pray for everyone, but the Bible encourages us to pray for those in authority. To pray for those in authority so that they will lead well. You know what I'm saying? So that they will lead well. Listen to me. Without the intervention of God, we are doomed for destruction and suffering.
Again, God given you everything.
I'm telling you.
God given the land everything.
Yeah.
And yet still, you're not making use of it.
Right. We're not making use of it. Because
your own sand and all is being sold by foreigners. Foreigners selling your own sand to you.
Which is sad. Which is very sad. But I tell you, with prayers and action, things can change in our country. I believe that strongly. And that's why we are even organizing this men breakfast. Look around you. Look in the community. What's happening there?
We are the ones who pray more often. Yeah. I'm seeing men trying to get involved. Yeah, that's what most time our mothers will be the ones fasting and praying every now and then.
That's why we're trying to challenge men. It is our responsibility to lead and to lead well. All right? You're right. I mean, you will find men. Who told you that men can lead prayer? You know, when it's fasting prayer. You see our mothers. How many times have you seen men gathering, maybe at the visible park or somewhere, to just pray for the nation? We need to do that. It is our responsibility as men, all right, to lead this nation, you know, to lead our families, to lead the community, to pray for the community. You know, somebody said when men gather to pray, when men gather to sing, also great things happen. And so, yeah, I'm here to just.
I was still looking at the praises go. I'm sorry if I'm giving you a tough time, but when praises goes up, blessing comes down, and I mean, you have everything. Other countries, the pastors will just say a specific prayer point, but when Pastor Jonah is being gathered together to look at Bible to see gold, diamond, iron, all the turn other side to see sand, God finna giving everything. What are you still praying for?
Yeah, we still need to pray. We can't stop praying, but also we need to act. Yes, we need to act. I mean, as I say, you know, Christian fathers need to rise up. You know what I'm saying? And say, look, this has to change in our community. This has to change. We can't sit down and allow it to just happen. Like, for example, with the government, you can't sit down and say, well, the president should do everything.
That's not possible.
No, it's not possible. What are we doing? You know what I'm saying? What are you doing as a Christian father in your little area? You know, what change or changes are you bringing to that community? How are you influencing your community? It's not just going to church in the morning or coming back home, but how are you impacting that community? How many lives are you touching? Oh, so when somebody, for example, in our community is doing well, and I want to thank God so much for the leadership. But oftentimes I see people trying to take sand from the road. It undermines, you know what I'm saying? And I stop that. You know, I don't allow that to happen. You know, so it's going at those days where we just sit down and pray and not act. Prayer must go with action. All right. And so, yeah, but in the midst of all that's happening, I want to say this again. God is at work and there's hope.
I'm yet
This
thinking,
nation can be transformed.
great. Reverend Jonah,
Yeah.
I'm yet thinking out of the box. These people who go to your various denomination and you take to the pulpit, you preach to them. You preach to them every Sunday. They go to the malls, they go to the churches, and yet and still they go in the various areas of work and things are still the same. Are they not listening or still need God intervention?
Yeah, well, some of them are listening, but others are not listening. So we continue to preach and we continue to teach. All right. And you live in a community. The church you go to is situated in a community. All right. And so we teach them not to just, as I said, not to just, be complacent with your church group. You know what I'm saying? Oh, this is my people, and then whatever happens. For instance, trash. That's another thing. You know what I'm saying? In our community, trash. Sometimes you see me with my kids picking papers all around. You know what I'm saying? In my area. And some people look at me funny. But what I'm saying, I'm teaching them. I'm not just saying, okay, we'll talk it. No, do it, apply it. All right. And so to men, Christian men and Christians in general, we are praying and we'll continue to pray, but we need to act as Liberians.
We need to act.
We need to act, because if we don't do it, our children will have no future. All right. Our children will have no future. We need to rise up and seize the moment.
5, 6, 7 years from now, what sort of Liberia you want to envision?
I want to see
Other countries are upgrading every day.
Listen, and I'm grateful for the infrastructure that was, the development that is taking place little by little. But I want to see, more of that. I want to see, a Liberia that children will go to school, you know what I'm saying, and will not have to think about food to eat. You know what I'm saying? I want to see a Liberia where the environment will be so clean. All right, people will not just throw trash everywhere. I want to see a Liberia where the citizens will not be exploited by foreigners. You go to Ghana right here. I want to Ghana and I want to do something. They say, well, we have citizen ID card and we have foreigners ID card. Wow. If you have a foreigner ID card, you pay more money.
Okay.
All right. And they look at you funny when you do certain things, in certain communities. And so I want to see a Liberia that will be transformed. This is a beautiful country, and I love my country. And I want to see this country develop. But it's not just the government. All of us have to participate in the development process.
Great. Yes, his name is Reverend Emmanuel Clarence Jonah, founder and national director of Liberian Christian Ministry. Well, we have the Breakfast Conference coming up. When is the time? You'll talk about the date. Breakfast Conference. When is the time?
Yeah, so it's March 15th.
March 15th.
Yeah, 7:45 in the morning at LCMR Church. It's in Soul Clinic. Come to the last turning point. You ask for Reverend Jonah, you will get us. We want to encourage men, to come. Fathers to come.
Is that open breakfast conference, or you have to pay something to come?
It's open. It's open. But listen to me, nothing is free. And so we just charge each person to contribute $100 LD.
Okay, for the breakfast.
Yes. Okay. Nothing is free.
I'll leave value to it.
Yes. All right. But we're gonna,
the fact of the matter is not about the food, but the knowledge.
Yes, exactly. And the interaction. We'll be talking real stuff there.
Who are some of the names you want to make mention that will be sharing knowledge?
Well, as I said, my friend Temple Kessinger is coming from the States.
Okay.
I will also be sharing with the men. I'll be challenging them. I have invited Reverend Wagner to send his men. Even though he will be uncomfortable to say his men to come.
There are men in men. Have you heard a word before? There are men in men.
Yes.
What men speaks.
Yes, things happen. Things must happen. So
many men in Liberia.
We do.
In other countries, both there are men in men.
No, listen, but men, we do. We have. Listen to me. As I said,
let me bring more politics. Men in men in the House of Representatives. Are there men in men?
Listen to me. There are men in men. These things happen.
with the men in men.
These things happen in other countries. You see people fighting, which is not good. I'm not encouraging it, but these things happen. Like I don't want to go, in the West, but even in Ghana and Nigeria, so sometimes they will fight, and you think that the whole country is going to burn down, but after a while, they are moving. All right, and so so what's happening in Liberia is not good. We condemn it, and we are praying that there will be peace, there will be an amicable solution to this crisis, but we still have men who can make things happen in this nation. We still have men who I respect greatly.
Should the country respect the rule of law?
Definitely. Without a rule of law, nothing's going to happen. I'm telling you, without a rule of law, investors will not come in this country. They will not want to even invest in this country. The rule of law is so important. All right, it encourages everyone to be checkmate, to be careful how you walk and how you live and what you do, to others. It's not about who know me thing. It's about the rule of law. All right, and everyone, whether you are a Christian, you are a Muslim, whether you are in government or not, the rule of law is the rule of law. It should be respected by all. And I tell you, when we do that, this country is gonna go somewhere.
Before I get the lines open out, let me push you today. So imagine Pastor Jonan, Terrence Jonan, in his congregation. You have the speaker, or maybe you have the vice president. You have the president. What's the assignment when you preach directly that affects? And you see the man who occupies the position sits in the congregation. What's the assignment do you preach? All of the crisis going on.
Listen, the word of God, as a matter of fact, in my church, I always go through a series. All right. But there are times that you preach a sermon that will speak to the situation that is ongoing in your country.
That's how you do your team.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So I'm not going to compromise my sermon because I want to appease the president or the vice president or the speaker or whoever is in my congregation. I'm going to preach the undiluted word of God. They need to hear it. All right. That guy expects us to lead well. That guy expects us to live well. That much is expected of us. God's going to work responsible. The day of reckoning is coming. All right. And so how we lead matters. And then this country has gone through a lot. And people are desperate for change. I'm telling you, people are desperate for change. And so it's not time to sugarcoat whatever, it's not time to compromise because you want to make somebody to feel good. They need to hear the true word of God. And it's the word of God that transforms lives.
Great. It's the word of God that transforms lives. Reverend Emmanuel Clarence Jonan, is our guest this morning. We have the breakfast conference coming up on the 15th of March. Keep the lines activated 0770-153-265 to participate. And if you have some questions to ask, go ahead and do so. 0770-153-265 will be live on the Friday edition of the Truth Breakfast Show. Let's go to the line and pick our very first call this morning. 0770-153-265. Good morning.
Good morning.
My
name is Daniel Philly, and I call you from NTA, where milk and honey overflow. Well, I want to appreciate the pastor and your listening audience this morning. Thank you very much for the show. Thank you very much, Pastor, for sharing out, the biblical standpoint, that you are bringing around our country. One of the disturbing things that in our country right now that I want you to actually discuss is this. There's this church discussing faking. Let me repeat that word. They are talking about homosexuality, right? And it's not suitable for our air. Actually, it's not suitable, and it's really contaminating our airways these few days. The Methodist Church, they are discussing, that homosexual stuff. Every radio station, they are just going on it. If something happening in a church, it should be discussed whether it's supposed to come out, or let it be discussed in their church, and it shouldn't come on the airway for our children, to hold. So I don't know what's your view on that.
Okay.
Yeah, Pastor. Yeah.
Thank you. Yes.
Thank you, Honor.
Thank you so much, Daniel. Thank you. 0770-153-265. Let's hear from you. We have 4 minutes up to 10 o'clock. Well, 10 will be ending up. 0770-153-265. You can ask your question. Pastor Jordan is right here with us. The Men's Breakfast Conference is up in a couple of days' time. Let's pick this call on the line. Good morning.
Good morning. This is Sylvester Bibo Kapawa. I'm calling from Twazo.
Okay.
A member of the Twazo United Church. And I want to appreciate our pastor for that breakfast conference. And also want to say we need prayer, and also we need information to our people. There are a lot of resources that we have, and there are a lot of things that need to be done. So whenever we are not informed, there are a lot of things that are going to be done.
Okay. Thank you. We need prayer and we need the information for our people. Thank you so much, Sylvester. 0770-153-265. Maybe I'll just pick one or two more up because of time. Right here this morning. But Pastor Jonah, you're listening up to calls running into time. Yes, you care to respond?
Yeah, so thanks to the callers, somebody talk about homosexuality. The Bible is clear about that. All right. In Genesis 1:27, it says God created male and female. All right. And so the Bible is clear about that. Ephesians 5:25 talk about husband love your wife. They say husband love your husband. Okay. But what's happening in the marriage church?
It's going to be discussing in the public. I mean, the kids are coming up, and you're the conversation.
Listen to me. The church is comprised of human beings, people. Okay. And in a very church, there are people who are carnal, there are people who are spiritual, there are people who are, we have Christians and non-Christians, in the church. They're all growing together. And so sometimes the way people respond to things, all right, they blow out of proportion. But anybody who reads his Bible will not be surprised about what's going on. Because, Scripture talks about that. I don't see this as from a denominational standpoint. I see as an attack on the Church of Jesus Christ.
Okay.
All right. And before I speak to this, I want everybody to pray for the Church of Jesus Christ. Pray that God will help us to stand. All right.
You mean the churches are different? Yeah, Jesus Christ have his own church and there are other church.
Listen, when Jesus look at his church, he doesn't see denomination.
Okay.
All right, Baptist, Methodist. No, we are all children of God.
You don't see Pentecostal.
No.
You don't see the Catholics.
No.
You don't see the
We
Episcopal.
are all children of God. We are the ones building those barriers.
You don't see the Latter-day-Saints, the Seventh-day Adventist. You don't see the Jehovah's Witness.
We are children of God. All right. And so when it comes to what's happening in the Methodist Church, some people are laughing, some people are making mockery of the United Methodist denomination. Listen to me, it's the Church of Jesus Christ. And God is clear about that. All right. We shouldn't be sugarcoating this. All right. Man and man, woman and woman, all those things are not acceptable in the sight of God. All right. They are not things that we should be embracing in the sight of God. All right. But what I'm doing now, my role is to pray for the United Methodist Church, to pray for the Global Methodist Church, to pray that everyone will come. Because when I listen to the United Methodist Church, Bishop, he keeps saying that they are not accepting same-sex marriage. All right. This is not what they are propounding.
Yeah.
All right.
And the Global Methodist Church
saying that
you're flying with them. So you don't dance with the devil.
Yeah. So right. Okay. And so we are not to compromise. We are not to to play games. All right. We have to stand firm, even if people come with their dollars or whatever, and they are preaching the wrong gospel. Paul will say no to them.
So I'm just seeing the UMC and a GMC, like two organized rivalry. Should I be in the Christian community? Does Jesus see you rivaling one another? The UMC, the GMC.
What are they fighting for? What are they fighting over? You know what I'm saying? And listen to me. If you fight for the faith, If you contend for what is true, that's a good fight.
It's a good fight.
That's a good fight. I will stand for that.
If you fight for the faith,
if you fight for what is right, if you stand up for what is right, that is a good fight. And I want, and so I just want to say that the Bible is clear about homosexuality, and nobody should compromise that.
What's wrong to your mind with your breakaway?
Well, these things were happening, you know what I'm saying? And as Paul would say, some people, preach the gospel in Philippians, out of selfish motive. All right. But he said, well, I praise God that at least the gospel is being preached.
Okay.
All right. And so in the midst of breakaways and all this stuff, the gospel is being preached. The church of Jesus Christ is advancing. It's not going to move God. It's not going to change God. All right. God is God. God remains God. All right. Even if you can have churches breaking away, God remains God. And a day of reckoning is coming. He's going to take his true church. All right. And so let's not be sidetracked. Let's not focus on, the breakaway. I don't support that. But I want us to focus on the positive thing that happens in the midst of chaos, in the midst of crisis, rather. And that is churches are being birthed. You get me clear? The gospel is being preached. Lives are being transformed.
You fight for the church building. The building belongs to you. It's not for Christ or what?
That is not significant, really. The building is not the church.
Where's the building? Where is the church?
Building is not the church.
The church in the building or the church in the heart?
The church, when we talk about the church, is talking about the people of God. Those who have accepted Jesus as the Lord and Savior, those who have a relationship with Christ are the church. All right. The building is where the church meets. All right. And so I will not die for a building. Honestly, I will not fight for a building. In fact, we are into church plenty, and some of our churches we are plenty. They don't have a structure, they don't have a building. They just have a tent that they put down. People are worshiping and they are doing very well.
Once the Holy Spirit comes,
yes,
and you feel
yes, it's even though listen to me, I'm not disputing the fact that we need buildings to be comfortable, all right, and to a meeting place. But I will not die for that, all right. The church is the people. And so if somebody is taking a building, all right, let them take that building. We can move the church somewhere else and keep worshiping God.
Right.
And so, the church is not a building. That's what I would say to that.
Great. So as you close up, use the next minute or so to close up, closing up on the men's conference coming up on the 15th of March.
Let me thank you first for the invitation. And let me just say to the public that this is an opportunity for fathers, men, Christian fathers out there listening to me. Wherever you are, whatever denomination you're part of, listen to me. We are talking about fathers on the umbrella of Jesus Christ coming together to study God's word, coming together to interact, to share their challenges, but to also be exposed to opportunities in our community around us that could be used to share the gospel, that could be used to extend God's love to people. And I want to encourage all men, fathers, to come. The number is increasing, but I tell you, we are not worried about that.
Just contact number you want to
yes. My number is 0770 20 50 86.
Again?
0770 20 50 86. Please call me for location. We'd love to have you come. 7:45 on the 15th of March on the dot. We look forward to seeing you.
Great.
It's going to be wonderful.
It's going to be wonderful. Reverend Manuel Clarence Jonan closing us up on the Friday editions of the Truth Breakfast Show, the men's conference on the 15th of March. Thanks so much for following. We'll be back on Monday. Monday, we'll look at the SOEs. What's happening with the SOEs? Almost a month now. The SOEs. Well, what is happening? Look at the SOEs, right? Thank you so much on behalf of the entire team. My Torgbean, Marka Davis. My name is O'Neil Roberts. In the midst of all what we do, country phrase, love Liberia, think Liberia, build Liberia, by the people, for the people, so say the CMC. Thank you so much. O'Neil Roberts. Have a blessed weekend. Bye.
This station rules the nation.
you.